Welcome to Mt Shasta Escape. It's May 30th, 2024, Thursday, and today I am taking a Suzuki GSX-8S ride from Mt Shasta, where I live, to Redding, from Redding over to Weaverville, from Weaverville up to Etna to Fort Jones and Wairika, and there back to Mt Shasta. It's about a 250-mile loop. It's got some really wonderful twisty mountain roads in it, and as I discovered just a few minutes ago when I started editing this, I kind of messed up with my microphone in the helmet, and the audio, although you can hear it, it's so hard to hear and so scratchy. I'm just going to make this video doing voiceovers and maybe some text in a few places, so bear with me, and hopefully you'll find the scenery makes up for this. This is the first of many stops I'm going to make along this ride. I'm not going to try to blast through and do this quickly. So this is just a rest area, but when I head over towards Weaverville, I'm going to stop at another one, and boy, I think I'll find somebody there that's very talkative, likes to talk about motorcycles, and I'm going to go on to Weaverville and stop at a Starbucks for some coffee and a sandwich, and I find some other people that are motorcycle enthusiasts to talk to. So Interstate 5 from Mt Shasta to Redding has some really entertaining, twisty parts to it. And when I drive my Subaru, I mean, it drives okay, but it's not a sports car. And this motorcycle handles like a sports car. Going around these corners is just kind of fun. Here's my exit off of I-5 and where the fun starts, and I'll be taking Highway 44 west towards Weaverville. Fairly soon after exiting on 44, I follow the signs and head towards Weaverville, and I wind up on Highway 299. 299 takes me all the way into Weaverville, and in Weaverville I will be turning to the right onto Highway 3, which takes me on a very entertaining route to the north through the mountains. Now I'm heading past Whiskeytown Lake on my left. Coming into Weaverville now. Well, I struck out on my first coffee shop. I didn't realize it was just a drive-through, pick it up in your car place. That doesn't work so well on a motorcycle. I didn't want to go to just a chain place, but at this point I just want to make sure I have something that works, so I'm going to a Starbucks that is in Weaverville. Well, I found Starbucks. I'm just going to park right here, right beside it. Okay, not the classiest place, but I stopped at Starbucks. Got a little breakfast sandwich and a nice big coffee, and plan out where I'm headed next after Weaverville. I learned something new when I was sitting at this table not far from a motorcycle. A lot of people that are motorcycle enthusiasts come up and talk to you. The two people in this picture here, the one on the left is a former BMW mechanic, and the guy on the right is a collector that has like 25 or 6 collectible Harley Davidsons. And there were several other people that came up to talk. It made it a rather entertaining stop. Tried it. Well, I spent quite a bit of time in Starbucks at Weaverville. I met 2 guys as old as I was that are big-time motorcycle guys, and boy, we just yacked for quite a while. I enjoyed it. That's the sort of thing back in the day that Joline wouldn't have been real happy about. When she talks about motorcycles, it's more, oh, I remember the green one or the red one. It's not the, it's not the kind of details that I tend to remember. She enjoyed riding with me, though, back in the day. You can see a little bit of the Trinity Alps kind of straight ahead, slightly to the left, appearing. They are a sub-mountain range of the Klamath Mountains. Gotta love those corners marked down to 30 miles an hour when you're in the 55 mile an hour zone. You can go around them pretty quick and do it legally. Well, if you're going to meet a highway patrolman on a road like this, stopped there is a good place to do it. Again, I don't plan on going over the speed limit, at least not substantially. It's just, okay, come on, make your mind up. What you going to do? Now you can go across. Well, if you can see the Zumo, we are going past Trinity Lake, and there's a view over there. If I get my head turned long enough to see it. I can't turn my head very long, gotta watch these corners. There's a good view straight ahead, sort of. I'm turning here to check out the Eagle Creek campground, see if we can get our travel trailer in here. We might camp here someday. It's right by the Trinity River. It looks like a pretty site, or a pretty location. Crossing the Trinity River here and then heading towards the campground. So I stopped and I reset the Garmin to show campgrounds, and it looks like it maybe a campground is showing just a short ways up here. That's why I'm continuing on. So far this road is something we could take our truck and travel trailer up if we ever chose to. The river's right down there. It looks like it's a pretty spot. Roads like this are why you kind of want to know what the ability of your motorcycle might be. And I mean, if you got a street bike, are you comfortable taking it on roads like this? Well, I'm comfortable taking this one. I mean, ground clearance is not an issue. I'm going slow enough. I'm not worried about kicking a rock up into anything. I'm not going to break a wheel going this speed. And I think I found the campground. So the question that I always have is, Are the roads wide enough to get around in here with our big rig? Do they have spots that are big enough to back a trailer in? That first one probably could be a little tight. I'm looking at this, and they didn't really say which way to go around, but obviously if you're going to back your trailer in, you want to go the other direction to what I am going right now. I mean, so far it's kind of typical National Forest campground. The sites that I'm seeing so far not great. That's a nice big one right there. That would be awesome. There's another big one. That's site 12. You get back in there quite a ways. A little smaller, but that one's just be really hard to try to level your trailer on that. I want to see what this whole loop looks like, but I mean, so far I don't see any reason why you couldn't come around this with a big truck and trailer. As always, I mean, you see these sites and being national forest, they look like they're nice and wide when I'm on this motorcycle, but when you start trying to back your big trailer in, they got rocks on either side and they've got trees all around them. Not always so easy. And I saw a few good ones back there when I first started around this loop, going the wrong direction, but I don't see a whole lot of good ones. Maybe. I'd have to pace it off, but it looks a little small. That one looks like it's probably big enough. Boy, river right there. Dogs could have fun over there. And of course, it's a Thursday, but not a soul here. I would guess on the weekend they'd pick up some. And that's it, but it does have some spots that would work. This is feasible. Eagle Creek, okay. Oh, okay, I'll stand up a little bit. Yes, you can stand up on street bikes. Bars are awfully low though, but it's doable. That's a little bit bumpy, and that 5 inches of suspension travel could use a little bit of help for my legs. I just don't know if I really wanted to do a little more of the adventure riding with this, meaning put the skid plate on it, put a little more off-roady tires on it. I've seen that you can buy handlebar risers for this, and I probably would put some handlebar risers on it. Try to get it a little bit better standing position, but you don't want to hurt its street riding either. That's the primary purpose for this motorcycle. The way it is right now, if I stand up very long, it's putting a whole lot of pressure on my wrist and arms because I just have to lean forward quite a bit. And some people will say, well, that's the attack position, and I beg to differ. The attack position, I mean, you should be balanced. You shouldn't be putting pressure on your wrists and arms, and the way this is set up, it's hard to do that. Again, I can grip with my knees on the tank and get a little further forward and take some of the pressure off my wrists and hands, but it's awkward. So I will sit back down. So a video or two ago, I don't know if it was the one just before this or not, but I titled it, is this an adventure bike? Well, no, it isn't. Can you do adventures with it? Adventure bike sorts of things? Well, heck yes. And if you worked a little bit of modifying it, it would actually be an okay adventure bike. You're never going to have all that ground clearance that most of them have. On the other hand, people with short legs like me are going to like having the ability to get your foot down when you need to. Well, that was a worthwhile diversion. Like I say, I'm not going to do it again, but I didn't just do the loop. I checked out something else along the way. And I'm thinking once I get over the top, that's kind of the end of the really fun stuff. When I turn back towards the east, there's a little pass you go over that's kind of fun too, but it's a higher speed pass. You really can't hit the corners very hard without being over the speed limit. And here is my summit. Scott Mountain Summit is what they call it, okay? 5401 they say, and I'd say 5414, close enough. Coming into Etna now. When we took our car drive about a week ago through this same area, we stopped at the Etna Brewing Company for lunch, and it was really quite good. We recommend it. Okay, coming into Fort Jones now. Today's ride took about 6.5 hours. I was really extremely comfortable on the motorcycle, except for maybe the last hour my butt was saying maybe it's time to take a break. But just the same, I mean, this bike did extremely well on a fairly long ride.